"We will never stand beside you," my mother said. "You smell like smoke, blood and sweat. You embarrass us." 6 hours later, I stood beneath the Pentagon lights while a 4-star general prepared to pin the silver star to my uniform. 2 reserved seats waited in the front row. One held my Aunt Ruth. The other held Sergeant Naomi Perez, who had carried me through 2 deployments. My parents were across town, celebrating my sister Belle's handbag sponsorship. They had no idea the ceremony was about to change Ruth's life. For 5 years I served as a combat medic overseas. While I packed wounds under mortar fire, my parents treated my hazard pay like family property. Every call began with a demand. Belle needed rent. Belle needed club fees. Belle needed a wardrobe for another career opportunity. I kept paying because I believed obedience might purchase love. The illusion died in a medical tent after shrapnel tore through my arm. A medic was stitching me when my father called. "Send £2,000 today," Victor ordered. "BL has a fashion event." "I'm bleeding," I said. "I need money for rehabilitation." My mother seized the phone. "Your work is filthy. Belle has a real future." I ended the call. Weeks later, I saw Belle posing beside a new luxury SUV. Public records showed my parents had borrowed against their house, assuming my automatic transfers would cover the payments. That night, inside a freezing bunker, I cancelled every allotment, changed my beneficiaries, and locked my accounts. My phone erupted with messages before the system finished processing. Rent had bounced. The club membership had failed. Victor called me ungrateful. Diane said I was destroying Belle's future. I placed the phone at the bottom of my pack and zipped it shut. For once, their panic could not reach me. The silence felt unfamiliar, almost frightening, but beneath it was something stronger, the first breath of a life that finally belonged to me. 10 minutes later, my unit entered an ambush. Gunfire shredded the compound walls. I crawled through dust and dragged 12 wounded soldiers from the kill zone, reopening my arm while applying tourniquets and chest seals. By dawn, every one of them was alive. That rescue brought me home and earned the Silver Star invitation. I delivered the gold envelope personally. Victor barely glanced at it. Diane said they already had reservations at an expensive restaurant because Belle had received a free designer bag. Then came the words about smoke, blood and shame. I took the invitation and left without arguing. At sunrise, I called Ruth. She had spent 30 years nursing veterans and sending me care packages filled with socks, gauze and shortbread. "I need you in Washington," I said. "I only need to see you standing," she answered. During the ceremony, General Marcus Hale described the ambush in brutal detail. When he pinned the medal over my heart, the auditorium rose in applause. Ruth's hand trembled against mine. Then General Hale announced a new national program honoring civilians who supported deployed troops. The first recipient was Ruth Mercer. Cameras swung toward her. The award included a fully paid lakefront home, lifetime property expenses, premium medical coverage, and a first-class European trip. Ruth wept as the general handed her the framed deed. My phone showed 49 missed calls before we reached the parking garage. That night, Victor, Diane, and Belle blocked my apartment door. Not one congratulated me. Belle demanded that I call the Pentagon and transfer Ruth's house to her. "You owe your family," Victor growled. "The deed is final," I said. He punched the wall. Diane grabbed my injured arm and began crying about blood ties. Belle sobbed that the broadcast had humiliated her online. I opened my door and faced them from the threshold. "You called me disgraceful when I had nothing you wanted. Now you see property and suddenly I am family again. My money is gone. My access is closed. Do not contact me." I shut the door and turned the lock. Without my pay, their fantasy collapsed quickly. Belle's SUV was repossessed outside her apartment while her friends filmed. Her sponsorship disappeared. My parents drained their savings, then sold their house before the bank could seize it. They blamed me, but I never answered. Ruth moved into the lake house. On weekends, I visited her cedar deck where the air smelled of tea, bread, and clean water. Naomi joined us for dinner and nobody asked me for anything. Months later, I became an instructor for military medics. I taught young soldiers how to enter danger without losing themselves inside it. The Silver Star rests in a drawer. Ruth's first care package note hangs above my desk. It says, "Come home." I finally understand what home means. It is not blood, obligation, or a shared surname. It is the person who sends warmth into your darkest winter, who honors your wounds without exploiting them, and who stands beside you before the world decides you are valuable. My parents left 2 chairs empty. I filled them with